What's up, everybody? I'm Taylor Perry. I'm going to be speaking at the Health and Wealth Summit right here in Miami, Florida, talking about marketing, SMP, and how to create tons of revenue by adding SMP into your barbering careers. I started out as a barber, and now I'm a full-time SMP artist, making more revenue than I could ever imagine. For everybody that's interested in signing up for the SMP class, just go to taylorperry.com. And again, all the attendees of the Health and Wealth Summit are gonna get a huge discount. So hit me up ASAP, taylorperry.com.
Before we get to our episode, I want to take a moment to tell you about a platform that is revolutionizing the way SMP artists market their clinics, and best of all, you don't need to spend money on ads to use it. The platform is called HighLead, and it's a complete sales and marketing system created by an SMP artist that is guaranteed to generate more bookings for your clinic. HighLead helps you capture, nurture, and close more business with dozens of features, including your own website chat widget, a unified text message, phone, and email marketing system, a review management system, helpful automations, and so much more. And beyond that, HighLead's team gives you one-on-one sales and marketing training, step-by-step onboarding calls, and responsive support. If you're ready to fill your pipeline with quality SMP leads, check out HighLead right now at gohighlead.com. You can get access to a 20-minute overview video to see behind the scenes, or book a live one-on-one demo with the founder to get all your questions answered with absolutely no risk or obligations. Check out gohighlead.com today. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Scalp Solutions Podcast. I am your host, David Santiago, and today I got a treat for you guys because, I've been getting a lot of SMP artists. I got some newbies coming in. I got some of the old dogs coming in and dropping some knowledge. But today we're gonna really dive into some marketing, and we're gonna talk about some tools that are now available to us as the industry is growing. We have some of these guys, like my guests, who are behind some awesome, innovative platforms that are made, to help us succeed in our business. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce my guest, Nicholas Scalice. What's going on, Nicholas?
What's up, David? Great to be here.
My brother, I appreciate you taking out some time to jump on the podcast. I know you guys are incredibly busy on your end, so I do appreciate you.
No, it's my honor. I've been looking forward to this, and congrats on so many episodes. You're up to over 70 episodes, I see, right?
I'm on 70, and I got about another 15 in the chamber.
Incredible.
Yeah, thank you, man. They say once you pass 50, you're
that's the point. Yeah, it's sad. You don't see a lot of podcasts get past 50, so that's an incredible feat on its own.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It's getting a little more difficult as busy as I get, but I got to keep going. I get so many guys that are like, don't stop it.
No, please. Especially for your industry, because this is like the premier SMP podcast. So you gotta, if you're not doing this, nobody will be.
And I get to bring guys like you on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Give some value to all of us, because this is, even for me, this is like a free masterclass.
Exactly. I'm a podcaster too, and I love learning. I think that's one of the hidden benefits of being a podcast host. You learn so much from your guests.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's just a relationship builder. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Knowledge of some relationship building. So, Nicholas, man, let's dive right in. I want to know. Obviously, you are a representative of HighLead. We'll get a little more into HighLead, but I want you to talk to us about your role in the company.
Absolutely, yeah. So our founder, Chris Helms, started HighLead a couple of years ago. And I was there right from the beginning, helping him with the initial idea and the strategy and building out a lot of the technology. And I work with him every day, trying to deliver as much value as possible. So we're a sales and marketing platform specifically for the SMP industry. And, we're a small team, but we're trying to do something very useful for SMP artists. And there's an interesting backstory there, because our founder, Chris, is an SMP artist, or he's a retired dot maker, as he likes to say. And then he saw this need for a sales and marketing tool for SMP artists specifically. And so, he had this great idea to go out there and do it. And I have been helping him all along since the beginning.
That's great. So your platform, your service, it comes with, there's proof and concept. So this gentleman knows, like, hey, this is what we were lacking in the industry. this is what the industry needs. And I think that's what excites me the most about what it is that you guys are offering, that because we're starting to see I don't know if you've noticed it, but like now you're starting to get all these like marketers that are popping up out of
Yeah.
nowhere, and they're like,
Hmm.
this is what we can do for you. We can get you 15, 20 leads a month, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They have absolutely no knowledge at all about what scalp micropigmentation is,
Right.
or the culture,
Sadly.
anything
Yeah.
about it at all. So, you guys coming from an actual understanding of like, practitioners, you guys know what it is that we need.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Nick, how long have you been in the marketing space?
So I've been doing marketing since 2009. I've been working in sales since 2004. I've worked with all types of industries, but mostly with lead generation. So in marketing, there's really two different sides of the coin when it comes to at least growth marketing or digital marketing. There's e-commerce where you're trying to sell a product, and then there's lead generation where you're trying to generate a lead. There's also brand and creative marketing, but for the purposes of the folks who are listening, you really got to think about lead generation because you're selling a service, so you need to generate leads. So I've been, doing lead generation since 2009. Chris has actually been doing marketing since 2004, and he also has a sales background. So, him taking that sales knowledge, taking that marketing knowledge, and then combining it with SMP knowledge when he became a trainer, or he became an SMP artist through one of the best trainers in the industry, Fernando Cortez. He really was able to combine sales, marketing, and that industry expertise. And I think it's that third piece, that industry expertise, that really has helped him and helped HighLead set a new bar for what's possible in terms of providing marketing services to SMP artists.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And now, let's talk about HighLead.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly is HighLead?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I remember in the early days we were like, is it software? Is it a system? Is it a service? It's really all of that. So it's an all-in-one sales and marketing platform, but it's specifically designed for SMP artists. And the big thing is it's guaranteed to generate more bookings for SMP clinics. That's what we focus on. We want to get you more bookings, and then those bookings are going to turn into new clients, and then hopefully repeat business and referrals. So it's an entire system, and we do that by combining very easy to use marketing software that's purpose built for the SMP industry. And then we combine it with a marketing system that has been battle tested at this point now for years with dozens and dozens of SMP clinics from all over the world. And so we know what works, and we have all of this data that has been it's been proven to work. And then it's not just the software and it's not just the tactics, but it's that complete system of the software, the tactics, the overall strategy, and the support you need to make it work. And it's all of those elements coming together into one simple, easy to use platform that is really the I guess the secret sauce, because there's a lot of folks out there just selling software or just selling services, but there's very few that are selling this entire package and then tailoring it to a specific industry like SMP.
Yeah, and I remember when you guys sent me over the information, like when we started communicating on the back end, it was pretty cool because I don't know if it was with you, either you or Chris, when you guys sent me like all the information, like the automations and stuff like that. And it was like, yeah, we practice what we preach. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, like so, like the back end of it, with the support of it, it was great. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I see what
there's a lot to it.
we're
Yeah.
gonna be involved in. It's not just some like, hey, just give us a call, the
Right.
whole jumbo that's going out now.
Yeah.
So how did HighLead even get started, man? Like I understand, the background of, Chris being an artist himself, but like there had to be, what was, the behind it? Like what was that like?
Yeah, so it started in late 2021, shortly after Chris became an SMP artist, and he just realized that there was just this difficulty in trying to generate leads, especially when you think about if you're a single SMP artist who doesn't have a staff to help him, and you're behind the needle all day trying to do your work, but then you're getting leads and you're getting phone calls. You need to respond to those leads as quickly as possible. We call it speed to lead. A lot of people in the marketing industry will know what that term means. And so that's the quickness at which you can respond to a new lead or a new inquiry, whether it comes through as an SMS, an email, a web chat, a phone call. You need to have a quick speed to lead. You need to get to those leads as quickly as possible, and that just wasn't possible. So Chris was missing these opportunities, and so he said there has to be a better way, and he looked out there and saw that there was not really a purpose-built software specifically for SMP artists. So he said, with my marketing background, why don't I create one? And so he took some of the very best tools in the industry that are based on some tools that our listeners might have heard about, like Twilio, Google Cloud, Mailgun, Zapier, and created this very powerful tool that would help serve his needs as an SMP artist. And for a while, he did both. He was juggling his time between, putting dots on people's heads and doing the marketing. And then he realized, hey, I can provide this service to others. And eventually it got to a point where he sold his clinic and decided to focus full-time on HighLead.
Outstanding. And now you said something out. What was it? Speed to lead?
Speed to lead. Yep.
Speed to lead. Now, is there like a standard rate where it's like where you have the client, it's on your website? Like is there like all right, you got about a couple of hours, 24 hours before a client inquires, whatever, asks you a question, what is scalp micropigmentation, or how long does it take to heal? Is there like a standard response time before that, that potential client is already looking for someone else?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a great question. And I wish it was hours. Unfortunately, these days, it's really minutes when you think about it. Think about how someone goes through this process. If they are looking for some type of hair loss solution, or maybe they already know what SMP is and they're searching for SMP, clinics near them, they're searching for a bunch of different options. They're not just clicking on the first link they see, filling out a form, and then just patiently waiting. They're most likely going to be submitting several inquiries with several different companies. Think about how we all have bought things on the internet or bought services. We're trying to get quotes from multiple people, and then we usually will go with the person who responds or the company that responds first. So unfortunately, you really have just a few minutes to get that response. And I bet there's people listening saying, well, that's impossible. How am I going to do that? So that's where automation comes in. Automation can be good. It can be bad when used inappropriately. But automation in this sense means if someone inquires or if someone calls or fills out a form or sends you a message, you now have the ability to send an automated message right away if you're not available. And we've gotten to the point where we have SMP artists who are actually intentionally missing their calls, even when they're available, because they know that the automation will do a better job of getting that prospect into a booking, into a calendar appointment automatically than if they were to actually talk on the phone to them for a half hour. So we have artists who actually prefer the automation at this point. But at the end of the day, one of the most important takeaways I think the listeners are going to get from this episode is you need to have some system in place to be able to respond within minutes. And really the only way to do that, unless you have a dedicated secretary or dedicated answering service, is to use automation.
You that last portion I was going to ask, what about if you have like an assistant, a secretary who's there monitoring the phones at all time to answer those questions? Like, how about that as a pairing? Would that make you even more like, this is it? This is real in the
Yeah, I think so. Because when it comes to speed to lead, so that's that first outreach, that the first time that you as the SMP clinic are reaching out to the lead that's inquiring. So it's important to have that instant response. And if you can do that with a dedicated full-time secretary who's going to be working 24/7, because you're going to get leads at 10 o'clock at night, right? That's great if you can get that full-time service, or maybe you have someone during the day who's going to do that. But then at night, maybe you switch over to the automation. You could certainly do it that way. But the other thing is, when it comes to automation, it's not just about that first speed to lead, outreach. It's about following up, because we all know, life happens. You might make an inquiry, you might hear back from that SMP clinic, but then what do you need to do? You need to send over some photos, right? Because we want to get a consult, we want to get a quote for you. So that might take some time and the prospect may forget. And so that's where automation can help with some additional reminders. And then let's say you do get a consultation book, booked on your calendar. You need to have automations in place that'll help remind that prospect to show up. And let's say they become a client. We need to have automations in place to remind them when their session is and where they need to go and all the
instructions and stuff.
Exactly. So there's a lot of other use cases for automation, even if you have that initial speed to lead component taken care of with a secretary.
Got it. Understood. Yeah, super important to have. I totally get it. I mean, even right now, because I have an assistant who handles that, but you just drop something on it, and I know you probably didn't even mean to, but I've never even thought about, what happens when, she's sleeping.
Right.
How
Yeah,
many people are probably men are going onto my website looking for this information at
exactly.
two
Yeah.
o'clock in the morning, and I'm useless to them.
That's when some of the best leads come in the middle of the
That's
night.
right. Right. That's what guys are really pondering. Like, damn, man,
Right.
my hair, I can't take
They're
it
looking
no
in the
more.
mirror. Yeah.
I'm looking. So check this out. Let's talk about some marketing. What kind of mistakes you think? Because I know you guys are dealing with a lot of artists in our industry. What are some of the mistakes that SMP artists are making with their marketing?
Yeah, I would say the biggest one is you see these new artists or SMP students come into the industry and they just dropped, $5,000 on SMP training like it was nothing, right? Because they're sold this dream of, hey, I'm going to make a 6-figure income, so 5,000 for the training, that's nothing. And they get into the industry and they don't have any money to allocate to a marketing budget, or they don't think it's important to allocate any money to acquire new leads, or maybe they spent their entire budget on that training. So I think that's the number one thing, is just not allocating budget to marketing. So for anyone who's just getting started, it is so important to at least spend a little bit of money or allocate a little bit of money, not just on the technology that you need, but on acquiring leads, because they're not just going to come to you. I think there's a lot of people out there selling snake oil of, oh, if you just do some SEO, it's free, you're going to get leads. It's not that easy. You do need to put some money into this. Not a lot, but you just need to be consistent. And then over time, as you build up that referral base, you don't have to spend as much. But early on, you need to have at least some budget dedicated specifically to marketing technology, marketing strategy, and what we would refer to as ad spend. If you're going to go the paid advertising route, you need to have some money to allocate to something like Google Ads.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why I feel it's so important, even for trainers, to not sell SMP as one of these get rich quick schemes, because you got a lot of artists that are coming on and they're hitting me up all the time. And I'm sure there's several other successful artists out there that are getting the same questions, that is kind of like, all right, I made the investment. How do I get leads? How do I get clients, et cetera, et cetera? Because, the going is kind of like, hey, for $4,500, $5,000, you can make a 6-figure income.
Right.
And that's it. But there's no like, hey, like, this is still, you're starting fresh. Like, you need some sort of lead, and you need some money.
Prime the pump. You got to.
Exactly. So there's a lot of trends that are always going on. It's a new year, 2023. What are some trends, some marketing trends that you think artists should be aware of this year?
Yeah, so we talked about speed to lead. I think that's an important thing that has changed recently, right? Because back, 3 years ago, it didn't matter as much because people were a little bit more patient. Nowadays, the other interesting thing when it comes to speed to lead is, let's say that you're on Facebook, you're browsing Facebook, and you click on an ad. Let's say it's an SMP, an SMP clinic ad. As soon as you click on that ad, it's sort of like blood in the water, because what happens is Facebook's algorithm then realizes, hey, this person's interested in SMP services. So they're going to start flooding your news feed on Facebook with a bunch of competitors, because to Facebook, they just want you to click on more ads, because that's going to attract more advertising and more advertisers. And that's what they want. That's how they pay the bills. So as a business owner, we have to think about that. As soon as someone is starting to search for something, and this also happens on Google, it's just a little bit different, but for the Facebook example, as soon as you click on something like an ad and you give that signal, you're going to also see a bunch of other advertising. The consumer is going to see a bunch of other advertising. So that makes it even more important to be able to respond quickly, because now someone who might have not even been searching for SMP services is going to see a bunch of competitors. So it's all about how quickly can you get to that lead. That would be one trend that I think is relevant. But the other thing that I think is even more timely right now, as we record this, is AI content. And so I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard of ChatGPT and all the things that are happening with AI content. And there's actually a marketing implication here, because when it comes to AI content, a lot of agencies are just pumping out written content now with these AI chatbots using ChatGPT and similar tools. And if all you're doing is focusing on SEO, where a large part of an SEO strategy is to create content like blog posts and articles on your site that are optimized to certain keywords. If it's getting easier to create that kind of content, that means that Google is going to be flooded with this kind of content. And they're doing things to try to mitigate this with different detection systems to try to detect AI content versus human content. But the bottom line is there's a lot of agencies out there that are going to be pumping out AI written content for the SMP industry. And so you can't just rely on that strategy anymore. So you have to do something else beyond that. And that's where, it really comes into having an entire system, having a multi-channel marketing approach where you're not just focused on SEO, but you're also focused on paid advertising. So I just think it's a very interesting time right now with AI in the focus. So you have to be aware of that.
Yeah. Have you yourself, I'm pretty sure, have you like messed around with it at all to see like its capabilities? Because it's,
Yeah,
dude, I was like
it's crazy.
almost 2 hours. Like, I was like, I really want to see, like, is this really going to give me?
So you're the reason every time I go on there, it says it's down.
It's down.
It's like David's on there. Just
Dude,
it's amazing. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Like, I was legit getting like solid blogs. I was, this is insane.
But see, if you're doing it, everyone's doing it, right? And so eventually there's this guy in the marketing industry, Gary Vaynerchuk, who likes to say marketers ruin everything. There gets to be a point where marketers just do too much of whatever it is they're doing, and then that strategy doesn't work anymore. And so in this case, I think there's going to be a point where there's going to be too much written content, too many blog posts, and it's just not going to mean as much. And that's why this is the most important time ever to do something else. You can still do a little bit of that stuff if you want, but don't rely on just that approach. Don't rely just on those blog posts. So yeah, I love ChatGPT. I love what it can do. I personally like to use it more as a strategy tool where I'll say, hey, help me come up with 5 topics for my my next email newsletter, or help me write 5 tweets. I like having it come up with ideas, and then I will actually write the content or revise the content in a lot of detail rather than just let it do all the work, because it can sound a little bit robotic. But it's a very powerful tool, and this is just the infancy of what's on the horizon.
The numbers of what I think this was like version 3 or something like that, and it's like it's
crazy
billions of the people, like the information it's getting it from, like they're already projecting like the numbers. I know that I put in myself, I was like, what are some questions I should ask my scalp micropigmentation artist? And a couple of them came up, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. I was like, you know what, let me a little more. And I was like, what are 50 questions I should be asking my SMP artist? And it's like threw them out, and I was like, oh my goodness,
it's good for interview questions too, I've noticed. So for any SMP artists that are hiring, you can go in there and you can just say, hey, what or you can even create job descriptions with it. It's crazy. And for anyone not knowing exactly what we're talking about Chat GPT. It's right now, it's in open beta, so you can use it for free. It's from a company called OpenAI, which is sort of a nonprofit, sort of not a nonprofit, but you could just go to I think it's just openai.com, and you can sign up for free if it's available. It's been getting so much use lately that right now it has a lot of downtime.
It's good. I went on this morning, like about 2:00 in the morning, and it was working, which is crazy because I think it's only been out for like 3 months, and it's got
November 30th.
Got like a $29 billion valuation already.
Yeah, Microsoft is a big investor, and that's really where this, not to go too much on a tangent, but this is where Google's whole business of search is getting threatened. So that whole idea of just focusing on SEO, because I keep referring back to SEO because that's the thing that most SMP artists have probably heard about, right? Search engine optimization, because there's a lot of agencies out there just saying, hey, you need SEO, you need SEO. And so SEO is related. It's dependent on this type of strategy of just creating content, but that's not enough anymore, especially now with Microsoft being a major investor in OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT. They're going to be building it into the Bing search engine. Yeah, it's crazy.
They're investing $10 billion, so they see the big picture.
Yeah.
But you know what? ChatGPT, effective. It's good. You guys got a little gem over there. You can go in there.
There you go.
You guys are creating content. You can use it. But let's go back to the main topic here, and is HighLead. How does it actually work now, right? Let's say I've exhausted my Chat GPT, and I'm doing I wrote 1,000 blogs in 2 days, and I'm putting a little bit of getting myself in front of the camera, putting a little content out there showing that I do have some proficiency and skills and capabilities. Now I'm ready to take it to another level, and I holla at you guys, HighLead.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for me? How does it work?
Hey you guys, we are excited to share with you some very exciting news. We have created an online training platform that you can do in the palm of your hand.
With over 20 modules and nearly 80 lessons, this is the most comprehensive and detailed Scale microimplementation course out there.
For those of you who can't travel here, maybe you're in other countries, you can now learn from your computer, you can sit at home, you can sit in a bus, and you can learn scalp micropigmentation with the greatest innovators in this industry.
Want to learn more? Click the link below.
Yeah, so there's four main components to it. The first one is an SMP lead engine system. So this is like the acquisition system of how you can acquire more leads. Sounds complicated, but really what we mean is your website is missing out on a lot of opportunities because you're not doing what's called conversion optimization. So conversion optimization is a whole subcategory of marketing that specializes in getting the people who are already on your website or already on your landing page to actually become a lead. It's not wasting that visitor's time. It's giving them what they want. It's answering the questions that they have and trying to capture their information with their permission using things like lead magnets. Lead magnets are guides, like free guides that you can give out, or maybe a demo or a free consultation. In a way, that can be a lead magnet. So this first component of HighLead is we help you get your lead engine system set up by using things like landing pages that are conversion optimized, by using chat widgets. So if you go to a lot of our HighLead client websites, you'll see a chat widget there because a lot of people would prefer to interact with a chat widget rather than simply fill out a form. But it's also just optimizing the forms on your website. It's using things like pop-ups. I know pop-ups are kind of annoying sometimes, but they work.
Effective. They are.
Exactly. Yeah, so that first component is all about capturing the lead. The next component, so that's one of four. The next one is an SMP booking system. So now that you've captured that lead, this is where we use automation combined with some actual outreach from our clients to convert that lead that you've now captured as a prospect into a consultation booking. And there's a lot of different automations in place that help you do that. A lot of reminders, a lot of questions like, hey, I see you're interested in a consultation. Can you send us some photos, right? Things like that. So that's the booking system. Then you have the SMP lead generation. And this is where, let's say you're not getting enough traffic from your website, right? And you want to have additional traffic sources. This is where you can use things like Google Ads, which we have found to be the most effective way to bring a new traffic source into your business and generate even more leads from people who are searching. So that's lead generation. And the final thing is what we call database reactivation, which is taking your existing client base and trying to reactivate them either into a follow-up appointment, a follow-up visit, or a referral source. So think of all the clients you've worked with previously. There's so much you can do with them, but a lot of people don't even reach out to them. So you can try to get a review out of them, which is going to help your organic Google ranking. You can try to get them to refer a friend, or you can try to get them to come back and maybe do a follow-up consultation or visit. So that's reactivating your existing database of clients. And you can also do that for your existing database of leads who never converted originally. So those are the four categories that HighLead helps with.
Dude, that sounds awesome, man. Especially that last part. So the last portion where you're saying like where they can reactivate hidden back, that's essentially just like or does it automatically like go and try and follow up with your clients, like maybe send them in another 2 or 3 years, like an email, hey, if you need a touch up or something like that? Is that to that extent?
Exactly. Yeah, there's different ways to do it. So database reactivation can be done all at once. So we can basically, and we recommend this for newer clients who are coming to us where they already have like a large list. We could just hit that entire list in a very friendly way that's not going to annoy them. We can try to just do this one time. I guess you can think of it as a blast to try to get them back into the system all at once. But then there's also this, like you were talking about, this ongoing long-term automated approach where you can then continually follow up with people long down the road so that you can try to either get them to come back or give a review or just, keep top of mind. You want them to always be thinking about you as their SMP artist. You don't want them, thinking that you forgot about them. And that's where automation can help.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you for that. I don't know if you're able to speak to this capacity of it, but would you be able to let us know about like some results that you guys have been already been able to achieve for some of your clients?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've had some clients that were getting literally 1 to 2 clients a month. And after going full throttle into our platform, they're now getting 1 to 2 clients per day. Now, I would say that that's not typical. Obviously, you're not guaranteed to get 1 to 2 clients per day, but it is something that has happened for some of the HighLead clients. But the most important thing is, we guarantee these results. And in terms of just giving a number, what I really encourage everyone to do is go check out HighLead. You can go to gohighlead.com. You can see the testimonials. We have a video testimonial on there. We have some written testimonials, and you'll see some big names in the industry. For the folks who really keep up on all the different players in the SMP industry. You'll see some big names. You'll see some logos of some of our clients, and you can watch those videos and sort of see firsthand, instead of me telling you numbers and things like that. You'll see the results, and a lot of the results are not just about acquiring clients, but it's about building better relationships with their clients and just helping SMP artists save time. That's another huge result that we've achieved for a lot of clients is just helping them save their own sanity and helping them focus more on what they want to focus on, which is doing the work that they're great at and not having to worry, oh crap, I'm behind the needle right now, so I can't answer the phone. That's taken care of now. So yeah, I would recommend everyone to go check out the testimonials and the testimonial video at gohighlead.com.
Yeah. So now once I go on the website, I see the testimonials, I see that there's proof and concept. How easy would it be for me or us the listeners to get started with you guys?
I would say it's a lot easier to get started with HighLead because we've done this so many times and because we just work with SMP artists. There's a lot of agencies out there where they're working with so many different industries. They sort of have to learn your business and you have to learn their business. In our case, like, we know what it is that you want. Obviously, there's always going to be nuances to your business that we're going to pay attention to and personalize, but it's super simple. And everything we do is a personalized approach. It's not automated where you're just signing up for software. So if you sign up, you can do a free consultation, of course, you can get a free demo. But then beyond that, if you decide to become a client, you're going to get one-on-one onboarding. And it's I would say it's not a lot of work, but it's a good amount of work early on to make sure that you get set up right. So you're going to be meeting with Chris one-on-one, and we're going to be setting everything up for you so that you're not just left on your own to try to figure it out. You're going to get this personalized approach so that when you're done with that onboarding process, you're going to have all the tools in place and you're going to know what the strategy is. So as long as you're willing to put in some work up front, it's going to be very, very beneficial because we give so much one-on-one guidance and personalization.
Got it. And now is HighLead, are you guys exclusively tailored towards the SMP industry, or do you guys dibble and dabble in
Yeah,
other industries
good
as well?
question. Good question. So it was created specifically for SMP artists. We do a little bit of work in the PMU space, but those are pretty much, I would say, 97% of clients are either, I would say actually about 85% of clients are SMP. Maybe there's 5% of clients that are PMU because there are some overlaps in the permanent makeup industry. But then it's a platform that is dedicated specifically for SMP, and that's where it works best.
So I've gone on the website and I know obviously the answer to this question, but if I was a newbie or whether I was a seasoned SMP artist and I really wanted to know if this was right for me, where would I go, to learn that information?
Yeah, you could check out gohighlead.com, GOHIGHLEAD.com. And we have a 20-minute demo video where it's on demand. You don't have to talk to anyone. You could just watch that video. And it gives you a good glimpse behind the scenes of the platform. You can see what the tool looks like. And then if you want to take it a step further, I encourage everyone to do a one-on-one live demo with Chris. He does these every single day, all the time, where we can personalize the demo for your business and we can answer your questions. So I would encourage everyone to do the quick 20-minute demo just to kind of get a sense of, what are we talking about? Let's actually see it. And then, think about all the questions you have and then do the live demo and get all your questions answered. And there's no commitment at all.
So even when we're signing up, what's the commitment? Like, is it a monthly? Is it a 3-month, 6-month?
Yeah, so we have a monthly plan. We also have an annual plan where you can save a little bit of money if you decide to go annual. But just to give you a ballpark pricing, and of course, I have to say disclaimer: depending on when someone listens to this episode, the pricing may change. So at the time of this recording, right now it's $197 a month if you go monthly. There is a one-time setup of $300, and then there's some additional services you can add on if you want. And this is what we would go over on the live call, where if you want us to actually run your Google ads for you, for instance, there's some additional charges there. But if you want access to the bulk of the platform, the automations, the technology, some of the initial strategy, you can get started for as little as $197 a month with that one-time $300 build out fee. Or you can save even more if you go annual, where it's you get 2 months free and you don't have to pay the build out fee. So yeah, there's lots of options, and all of that's listed on the gohighlead.com website.
Yeah, that's definitely doable. I mean, you got some guys that are get into the ear of some of the artists in the industry, and they're paying, triple that for someone
Yeah.
like manage Google ads or
And you don't even know what they're
their
doing.
SEO, and they don't even show you
It's
what
like a
it
black
is.
box. Yeah,
Yeah.
we show everything, and the most important thing is, we want you to come out of this as a better marketer and a better salesperson. So even if you don't end up working with us, just doing the consultation, you're going to learn something. We guarantee you're going to pick up something like what we talked about today with speed to lead and AI tools. You're going to come out of these consultations with more knowledge that you need to become a better SMP business owner. That's our goal. So I encourage everyone, even if you're like, I don't need any technology, I don't need any systems, do the call and just get a few tips and tricks for how to be better at running an SMP business from a marketing perspective.
How do we know as SMP artists? How do we vet a marketing company? Like how do we know we're choosing the right marketing company?
Yeah, that's a really important question that comes up a lot. I think one of the most important things is you have to ask for results. Like what results has that agency gotten that's specific to your industry? And that's why we put our testimonials on our website. That's why we have a video testimonial reel showing big names in the industry talking about HighLead, because a lot of these agencies, unfortunately, there are a lot of good agencies out there, but there are some that they just sort of they're a generalist agency. They work with a bunch of different bunch of different industries, but they make it sound like, oh, we are the SMP agency for you, and really they're just looking for a niche that is something that they think is cool, right? In our case, like HighLead is founded by an SMP artist and an SMP owner, so that's really important. Like, does the agency you're going to work with have that SMP background, and do they also have the testimonials on their site that are going to prove it? And the other thing is, like, do you know what exactly they're doing? Because there's a lot of these like black box agencies where, oh, we'll run all your advertising for you, and you give them the money, but they're running it from their account, from their pages. Like, you don't really own any of that. Like, what we do is we build assets for you. Like, if we run Google ads for you, it's with your Google ads account. We can help you get set up with that. But that way, even if you end up not working with us down the road, that's your account. Like, I've seen so many agencies hijack Google ads accounts because the agency created it for themselves, not for the client. Like, so it's very important you own it.
Huge right now, even with the Facebook ads, them not
that too. Yep.
Not running, not operating it. I mean, I don't push the Facebook ads. Anyone that I think knows anything about marketing knows that Facebook ads are pretty much like
we don't do Facebook ads. Yeah.
They not even under your own ad manager account. Like, they're doing it on their own. So like, even if you refer back to like what you had and use the same captions or whatever, like, it's gone. It belongs to them, and they'll sell. They'll get another newbie in and sell it to them.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's why we stay away from Facebook. Also, just because right now we think the best opportunity from a paid advertising perspective for SMP artists is Google. So Google ads is great because there's a high level of intent when someone is searching on Google for hair loss solution or hair tattoo or cosmetic hair tattoo or whatever. There's a high level of intent there. So you're going to get a higher quality lead. You might be able to get cheap leads on Facebook, but just from the tests we've run, Facebook is not going to give you the same quality of people that are ready to go, ready to book, ready to make a consult as Google would. So yeah, we don't mess with Facebook ads. We focus from the paid advertising side, which is just one portion of what HighLead does. We focus on Google ads.
Yeah, awesome. And you know what? I noticed too, even with Facebook ads, I don't want to tap too much, but
Yeah.
even the keywords, like this minimal keywords that you could even
The
use
targeting.
to really
Yeah.
target to your, you know, the client you're looking, your avatar. And I think the last time that I was actually in front of it myself with my guy, with him like showing me what he's doing, I think it was like only FUE. And I mean, like, even someone who's looking for a hair transplant doesn't even refer to it usually as a FUE.
Yeah, the
They wouldn't
targeting's
know any better. Like,
weak.
that's
Yeah.
within the industry. We know that, but it's not.
Right, they're not good. Even the word, even the phrase SMP, we find is not, well known among the average client. That's why we're targeting, and that's the other cool thing. We've collected so much data at this point, from spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on Google ads. We have, I would say, more data, more industry data on keywords and what works than pretty much at any other agency on earth that's focused on SMP. Because we've done this now so long for so many clinics, we know what keywords work. So it's not like we're going to be learning on your dime. We are going to be giving you this data and setting these campaigns up. One thing I will say about Facebook is, I wouldn't completely discredit Facebook to the point where, like, I think there is some use case there where many of our listeners may be familiar with a phrase called retargeting or remarketing, where you're just showing an ad to someone who's previously been to your website and maybe they didn't convert into a lead or a client. That's a good use case for
Yes.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but trying to get like fresh leads, like, people
Just
that
putting
have
someone's face.
yeah, that's I don't think that Facebook is a good opportunity right now for that.
I know right now with that one, whoever's listening, and you just said retargeting and what it does, that's just gonna spark it. But we're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna save
That could be a
for
whole
the
nother
next time.
episode for the
We're gonna
future.
save.
Yeah.
We'll save that for the next time we have Nick on, because that's a whole other animal. So,
Yeah.
Nick, before we wrap things up, I want you to drop one marketing gem, just one marketing gem to our listeners that's gonna add value and it's gonna help them out with their.
Ooh, let me think about this. Okay, so I would say one of the most important things that we learned in this whole process is how important it is to be organized and to have some type of system for tracking your leads and tracking your clients. And so the phrase that is commonly used in marketing and sales is CRM, client relationship management. And there's software out there that specifically does this, CRM software. HighLead has this capability. It's built in, but that's not why I'm mentioning it. You don't have to use HighLead if you don't want to. But what I would recommend doing is that if you are getting leads at this point and you don't have a way of tracking where they are in the funnel with different pipelines, like this is a cold lead, this is a hot lead, this lead has followed up and is ready to do a consult, this lead is scheduled for a consult, this lead has done the consult and got pricing information, this lead is a client. Like, if you don't have that in your business in a simple, easy to view dashboard, you're missing out, because there's no way you can keep up with following up on all of these different things if all you're doing is, going back and forth between text messages and emails.
Right.
So the nugget would be, get a CRM system, whether you just go find a free one. There's a lot of free CRM systems out there, or whether you decide to use HighLead, where this is like the center of the actual the tool, the CRM. That's where you're going to track everything. It makes such a difference. When we have trained our clients on how to use a CRM properly, it's like this light bulb moment where it's like they can finally see their business, they can see their pipeline, and they can predict how much revenue they're going to make, because they know exactly how many leads are in each stage.
Yeah, that's such an incredible tool to be able to forecast what you got coming up.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. So before we go, let us know where we can get in contact with you, or where we can find more information again on HighLead.
Yeah, you can find everything you need at gohighlead.com. And we practice what we preach. So if you go on there and you click on the chat widget, you can get in touch with Chris. He's very quick to respond to everyone. You'll also be able to see some of the automations that we have, just to be able to stay top of mind and keep in touch with everyone. But yeah, from there you can watch the video demo. You can book a live call with Chris where he'll go through everything and answer your questions. You can email him. He's pretty easy to get a hold of. But yeah, everything is available at gohighlead.com.
Excellent, Nick. Thank you. I appreciate you again coming on to the podcast. This was definitely super informational for myself, and I can't wait to see. I get to talk to him offline. So I got some
Right.
more questions, guys.
Exactly. The questions. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of the listeners have questions, but yeah, this has been a lot of fun for me as well.
Outstanding. Excellent, Nick. Well, again, I appreciate you guys. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Scalp Solutions podcast. Until the next time, peace.